What is up, Karma Nation? Welcome here to another edition of NASCAR Live with the NASCAR GOAT, Dave. I don't know what the heck you just held up. Was that a kitten?
My new kitten. So
I couldn't tell because I wasn't looking directly at your webcam. I couldn't tell if it was fake or real first. I thought it could have been like a sock puppet for a
no,
second,
we,
but
we got
that's
a
a
new,
real
it's a real cat.
live
Yeah,
cat.
we got a new cat this week, and he's like my best buddy. He's always hanging around me.
So what he's trying to say is I'm no longer his best buddy. That's what he's trying to
Pretty
say right
much.
here on live stream. Cool. But yeah, so if this is your first time tuning in, make sure the very first thing you do is click on that subscribe button right below this channel, depending on actually how you're holding up your phone right now. If you're on your phone anyway, it should be right underneath their faces. Click that subscribe button, and then yeah. And then tune in every Sunday that there is a Sunday Cup race at noon Eastern time. We will be doing these live streams. And then once NFL starts, we're going to be still doing them on Sunday, but we're going to be moving around the time a little bit. We'll keep you guys posted, updated on the new time, the new NFL time. Granted, there's an NFL season. Who knows? Who knows? Get those questions in. So if this is your first time watching, this is how the format works for NASCAR Live. We go through his favorite DFS plays, referring to DraftKings salary, his favorite, top tier, mid tier, low tier, cash, and GBP plays. We then go over to Monkey Knife Fight, his favorite plays for that. Make sure you have your Monkey Knife Fight.online account pulled up, because as soon as he says it, you want to lock in an ASAP before those numbers change. We'll go to Prize Picks after that, and we'll wrap things up with his favorite drivers he's interested in betting on based on their odds, and all that jazz. So we do these live streams so you guys can ask questions live, and we will answer them live one at a time. So if you have any questions regarding anything about this race, whether it is betting, props, or DFS, get those questions in. And then right before we start getting into questions here, I do want to mention, as you saw in the Twitter blast, the email blast, the opening screen, and everything underneath, we have partnered. Our new featured DFS partner is Super Draft, which they do have contests for this NASCAR race, the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got all those words out. But yeah, they have their own contest where I believe it's 3,000 a first. Is their main GPP.
Yep.
So we're gonna be
Right
talking. We're gonna get to that in a hot second here. Talk about strategy, because their site's a little bit different. There's no salary cap, so you can literally plug in any 5 drivers that you want to. There's a champion one that gets like a 50% fantasy point bonus on it. But those are already part of our core plays. So if you are signed up to NASCAR core plays, getting a Super Draft Optimal is already part of that. But we're going to go more on that strategy here in a little bit. But let's go through these statements and questions here. Travis right off the bat says, "What's up, guys? Thoughts on Stenhouse today?"
Probably not gonna play Stenhouse today.
All right. Timothy, is an owner racing team stack viable for today's race?
If you're talking Stuart Haas, one, two, no, like parts of a team stack. I mean, if you're talking Penske, maybe, but I'd leave out to Benedetto. Bits and pieces of I wouldn't go a full team stack. So,
Surugi wants to know your best value on FanDuel. I know we're going to get to the value stuff here in a second, but on FanDuel, if you just have your best value play.
Let me pull it up here. So.
You don't have all the salaries memorized? How dare
No,
you?
I don't. I'm not. Was it Sam who knows like every golfer's salary and whatnot? I'm not that person. Probably Austin Dillon.
All right, let's see. Timothy, is Kevin Harvick close to a must play today?
I think so. I think there's, just scouting the industry. I think cash is going to be kind of nice today. It's not going to be super chalky. I think Harvick will probably be the highest owned, high tier guy. But for me, he's a must for me.
Thoughts on Clint 7.7K DK GPP?
Yeah, I wrote him up on my final thoughts there about just that. He starts 17th. He's 7,700, so he's a good price point GPP play.
Which segues to something we always mention in every stream. Make sure that you check out the written article and the final thoughts cheat sheet before tuning in and jumping in with these questions, because a lot of the stuff he answers, he puts it all out there on a silver platter for you guys to get all the information. So a lot of stuff is answered there. Let's keep moving on here. Timothy, any liking towards Brad Keselowski on FanDuel?
I don't mind him on FanDuel. FanDuel, I think he's a better play uh um on DraftKings. I'm probably only like tournament only, but Brad Keselowski I think is a really good play there on FanDuel.
And then before we get started here with the standard breakdown stuff, the last one is OS Blaney or Almirola for a
There
second
you
dom.
go. That is the debate today. Almirola has been very fast. He dominated the last points race, which was at Kentucky. Led over 150 laps, I think it was. Problem is, man, you look at Blaney's mile and a half speed. What the hell's my dog doing down coming down here? Um,
Well, you have a cat in your room now, so
yeah, I know, right?
science.
It's probably looking for my wife. Yeah, the dog's my wife's animal, and now the cat's mine. It seems like. Anyways, Blaney, the mile and a half speed that he's shown this year, and just speed in general, Blaney is right there at the top, and so it's hard to pass on Blaney and the potential that he has to lead during this race, and so I'm probably leaning Blaney over Almirola, but I can't blame you for playing either one. I can't blame you for playing both in your cash lineup. So, it's kind of a call you're going to have to make. But I like them both. I probably lean Blaney over Amarola.
So, how we normally start these, what is the strategy, attacking strategy of this particular type of race? What are you looking at? And yeah, how do we attack it?
Yeah. So, today it's a mile and a half track. It comps really well to Charlotte, comps somewhat to Atlanta minus the tire wear. Um, so you're looking at with no practice, we got to use some of these results and how they drove at those races. Look at green flag speed from there. Look at finish results and look at track history. Probably looking at a two dominator lineup in cash, third depending on who you classify as a dominator. Um, yeah, you mix in a little place differential. You're using most of your salary, obviously. Yeah, so it's a longer race. It's like 334 laps, so there's a lot of dom points available. So I think you got to look at that on both DraftKings and even FanDuel today. Yeah, so that's kind of the strategy.
All right, so let's move things over to the DFS breakdown. Who is your favorite top tier cash play for today?
Well, we kind of hinted at that earlier from that question. What the hell is my dog doing?
Dogs and kids and kittens and wives.
Yeah, I know how it goes. So, it's Kevin Harvick. I love Kevin Harvick today. I think he's gonna be popular. I think he's probably be the most popular dominator in cash. Just because of the debate between Blaney and Almirola. He's got 3 wins in the last 5 races here. Guy hasn't finished outside of the top 10, or he hasn't finished outside the top 10 in the last 11 races here. So it's just a solid play. Him and Hamlin have been the top 2 cars since they come back from the pandemic break. There's, other than maybe price and whatnot, I don't see how you go anywhere else other than Harvick today.
All right, then same thing for the GPP. Who's your favorite top tier GPP play?
Yeah, top tier GPP. I'm probably looking someone like Logano. I just more or less because of ownership. I think you'll see Truex, you'll see Elliott get some ownership, and I think they're probably maybe even better plays than Logano. But for ownership, which I think will probably be below 15%, if not less. I think he's got decent track history here. He's led laps in the last 3 races, 7 top 10 finishes in the last 8 races here. He's got the upside there. Needs dominator points to pay off, and it's kind of been hit or miss on speed. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna probably target Joey Logano some of my GPPs.
Vincent on YouTube says for a single entry GPP on DraftKings, Nemechek, is it? I can't pronounce the name. Busher or LaJoy?
Or LaJoy. All right, so let me break it down for you. LaJoy's probably gonna be the highest owned. John Hunter Nemechek be the second highest owned. I think he's got more upside than LaJoy. And Busher comes with risk because he starts 16th, but I think he's got top 15 upside, if not possibly even, no, top 15. I'm not going to go stretching and saying top 10. It's going to be top 15 upside. And he's the cheapest of all three of them. So, Busher gives you, a little bit more flexibility than the other two. So take it as it is. I think they're all three are great plays for GPPs. Yeah, I don't know if that helps, but just kind of broke it down for you.
All right, moving on to the mid-tier range. Who's your favorite cash play?
Mid-tier cash play will go to Ryan Blaney. Like I said, I think I'm leaning Blaney over Almirola for cash. I don't think I'm playing both of them. I don't mind if you play both of them. I think they correlate fine. Almirola could lead early. Blaney could lead later. But yeah, I mean, let me go back and see what I wrote about him.
Just recite.
My kid, go upstairs. I'm trying to do something. No, go upstairs now.
Take the cat. Take the dog. Get out of here.
Go upstairs. Sorry, I'm trying to focus, but these two go upstairs.
But Daddy, we love you.
I know, right? Jeez. No. My God. Anyways.
She's like, okay. I want to be famous.
Yeah, right?
Man. That was awesome.
All right.
She intentionally just like creeps behind you.
Yeah, I know. All right. So let me try to reset. So Blaney.
Yeah, Blaney. Just reread what you wrote down. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Blaney's, he's been fast all year. His green flag speed's been there at 1.5-mile tracks. He was fastest last week. He's been in the top 5, top 10 in green flag speed at these tracks. He's got decent track history here. I love Blaney overall today, just in general. And I think and I feel like I say this every week with Blaney, but that Ford group there, that Penske group, it's BK and Logano and Blaney and even Matt DiBenedetto. They've been, one of the better teams after the pandemic break. And so I'm probably leaning Blaney in cash today.
All right, mid-tier GPP.
Mid-tier GPP. This is a tough one because I love this range has a lot of different options and so there's a few plays I like. Probably the one I'll probably lean on is Jimmy Johnson. He starts 20th. He's got some good place differential upside, and the Chevys have they started off at Darlington and at Charlotte showing a lot of speed after the break. And Jimmy was right there last week in Kentucky till Keselowski spun him out. Jimmy's had shown good speed at Charlotte and Atlanta as well as good results. I think he'll get a little bit of ownership. I think people might even play him in some cash games, but I also like Jimmy's upside in tournaments as well. And so I'm probably gonna definitely have some Jimmy Johnson exposure along with a few others in this range. Like I said, this range is really, really good.
Malyala says, what is your thoughts on Bowman and GPP?
Yeah, I actually don't mind Bowman this week. I know normally I'm higher. I'm pretty down on Bowman. I don't mind him in GPPs. I'm not going to touch him in cash games. He just starts too far up. His track history sucks here. But like I said, the Chevys, they've been fast this year. They're fast 1.5 miles. So I'm got to, like you and I were talking earlier, you kind of got to look at green flag speed from this year and how they run during races and use that in your analysis for races that are similar. And Bowman has shown, decent upside at 1.5-mile tracks this season. So I don't mind Bowman.
All right. Now I had a question. Let's see. I think you already covered Logano being a good GPP play on DK, right? You already answered that question.
Yep.
OS, Ty or Austin Dillon? I think when you said Austin Dillon is your favorite FanDuel value, that kind of answered that as well. Or is Ty better on DraftKings?
When we get there, we'll talk about it.
Well, okay then. OS, thoughts on Newman?
I mean, GPP only, multiple lineups only. Just starts too far up, and his track history is just he's just there. I mean, he's just where he started. Upside, I don't see a lot of upside. And I think there's better value.
All right, so moving on to the cheapo range to answer some people's questions that they've already asked.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite cash play in the cheapo range?
Yeah, favorite cash play is gonna be Austin Dillon today.
What do you know?
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. That's why I gotta stop you sometimes and say, I'll answer that and we'll get to that range. Why do people ask me questions when I'm on the stream? Just asking here.
Wait, people are at what, in Discord they're asking?
Mm-hmm.
Are you not entertained?
Anyways, so yeah, so Austin Dillon starts 21st. I've talked about this a couple times when he's been a GPP play this season, but Austin's definitely stepped up his game. The whole RCR thing with Reddick and Austin Dillon seems to be a good combination. They both are running really well. Austin's got top 10, top 15 upside at 1.5 mile tracks this year. He's all right track history, but I'm more looking at this year because he seems to have stepped it up a notch, and I just like what Austin Dillon provides at the price he is.
And then GPP for the cheapo spot.
Yeah, I know I touched on it a little bit. Chris Buescher, I think is a decent GPP play. Definitely GPP only. Starts too far up. Like I said in my final thoughts, man, I wish Buescher got Bell's luck of the draw and started like in the 23rd or 24th position, because then he'd probably be a lock, or he'd probably be one of those like chalk locks in cash, but starting 16th, he just the place differential upside isn't there, but he's $5,800 on DraftKings, and I think if he finishes top, he's going to knock his value out of the park and is a good play, but only for tournaments.
All right. Ross says Billy, Byron, and GPP DK.
Byron and GPP and DK. I don't mind Byron. Almost put him in final thoughts. I didn't. I'm kind of on the fence with Byron today. He's got decent track history. I just don't think he's the greatest option today.
OS, I think we already answered this a few times. His question was, why wouldn't you play Almirola and Blaney together? He's saying that he would in certain situations.
Yeah,
and then
I don't mind playing. I wouldn't fault you for playing them together. Because Almirola can lead early, Blaney can lead later. Sometimes there's when the draw or qualifying happens and the front row's there, you get two drivers that basically their only chance of getting dominator points is at the beginning of the race, whereas Blaney has shown green flag speed at mile and a half tracks that you're not worried him not getting where Almirola could, and Blaney can lead later in the race. So I don't mind playing both of them together. And if you want to do it in cash, I actually wouldn't fault you on that. If you want those to be your two dominators, go ahead. But yeah.
All right, before we go on to Monkey Knife Fight, I'll give you guys a few seconds to pull that up. Touching base here on a little super draft stuff. So, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, we are now our featured DFS partner. What the heck is my microphone doing? It's moving around by itself. It's possessed. That was weird. Did you guys see that? That was crazy. Anyway, Super Draft, brand new featured DFS partner. If you do not have an account yet, simply go to superdraft.site or download the app. And when you sign up for an account, as you see right there to the side of the screen, use promo code Carmel. It'll give you an extra $10 on top of your deposit. And they do have a contest today. I'm gonna pull it up here real quick. I'm pretty sure it's 3K to first, maybe.
It is.
It's 3K to first. Is their main GPP. They have a ton of other GPPs. They got single entry stuff. They got head to heads. They have cash. They have all kinds of double ups in there. But how their roster is constructed for NASCAR specifically is one champion, which gets a 50% fantasy point bonus, and then 4 just, I guess, super flexes. And the different strategy is that you can pick anybody you want to. There's no salary cap, but the further down the totem pole you go, the higher the multiplier. So just one quick question for this race. I know we all are fairly new to Super Draft, strategy-wise. So when you're attacking the champion for this particular race, who is somebody that pops in your mind as not only exceeding their own value based on their multiplier, but also hitting that, making that plus 50% well worth it to put him in that spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the end, like I said, I've only been playing it for about a month. Um, I personally, in the champion spot, I'm probably looking at like a track like today, where I think dominator points are more important. I'm probably looking at someone who's going to lead a bunch of laps. I don't not care about the multiplier. I mean, you're kind of guessing at that point. You're trying to, if you're trying to find someone who's got like a bigger multiplier, you're kind of hoping that the guy finishes um, inside the top 10 and your dominators don't lead a bunch of laps. And I think so. I think today is more trying to find that right dominator for the champion spot.
So Almirola and Blaney, who we keep going back and forth on, who's starting 1 and 2, they both have a 1.8x multiplier. Is that somebody?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind putting Blaney in there. I don't think I'd put Almirola in there. I like Almirola. Don't get me wrong, and he's definitely
UCF
been better this year. I just think I like Blaney more today, and I think that's someone you could consider putting in that champion spot.
All right, Vincent Tricks, a good pivot off of Harvick for DKGPP.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Okay. Andrew, do you prefer 2 or 3 dominators today?
Depends who your dominators are.
All right. Quick, short responses. Moving over to Monkey Knife Fight online.
I just don't know who his dominators are and who he's, because if it depends if you're classifying, as Bella dominator to you, starting 33rd, but he's 9,100, so he's probably gonna get some dominator points to pay off the price. So just and who you're classifying as a dominator.
Fair enough. Monkey Knife Fight online, one of our prop partners, they give you contest options that are some are like they give you two different drivers who have a certain number of fantasy points underneath their faces, and you have to say are they going to get more or less than that number posted. And if you get both of them right in a 2-pick, then you can get like a 2-point like kind of like a double up on your money. So if you put like $50 on it, you get $100. Simple as that. We're guessing over under the numbers that are going. They have some other different contests called rapid fires. We'll get into if that's the what Dave is going towards here. So speaking of Dave and Monkey Knife Fight, what are we attacking for this live stream pick here?
I like the one I dropped in Discord earlier. I'm looking. I'm debating whether I'm doing the rapid fire or the more or less. I'm probably just gonna stick with the more or less because I don't like 2 pairings in the rapid fire, and so I'm not super confident on that. All right, so let's go to the 3 or 4 more or less. Fantasy points. Always fantasy points.
All right, so we're looking at a 3 or 4 contest, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Which way are we going?
Harvick more than 18.5. Truex more than 17.5. Kyle Busch less than 17.5. And Ryan Blaney more than 16.5.
So if you haven't done Monkey Knife Fight online before, use promo code Karma, give you a free $50 on top of your deposit. It's 100% deposit bonus match up to 50. But yeah, so you just are going to this car icon here, NASCAR. You're simply tapping on that, and then you're looking for the 3-4 play that Dave just went over here. And so you can see all of the options right here at the top. So you can play around with all kinds of different things there. But yeah, just plug in what he just said there for a 3-4. Now 3-4 means only 3 have to hit. If one of them misses, and only one. So if 1 or 0 misses our guess of over under, then you still get your 2.5x multiplier. So you could turn 50 into man, I was gonna say 150 there. Somebody paused. I was like, man, my brain is not on a math side right now, but I got it right. But yeah, so that is the play for Monkey Knife Fight. We're gonna hop real quick right over to PrizePicks.online. It's a very similar concept, except they don't tell you here's your 3 or 4 people you get to pick between. These are you can kind of mix and match out of all the drivers here. So on PrizePicks.online, same thing. If you haven't signed up yet, use promo code Karma. You get to $1,000 deposit bonus. It's a 25% match. Who are the drivers on PrizePicks.online that we're thinking about?
I'm gonna say numbers moved a little bit. I want to just check something real quick. Okay, I'm not
I like how Cole Custer's image is like 3 times bigger than anybody else, and it like jacks up the board.
Not on my app. Not on my phone.
No, not on the website that I pulled up.
That must be, that's it. Everything's the same size as my stuff. So. All right, so it's a 3-play here. Flex it. Ryan Blaney over 34. Martin Truex over 34. Eric Almirola over 31.5.
All right, so you see what he did there. We out of the entire board, you're able to pick 2, 3, or 4 people, and you went over on all of them. And then there's 2 different options on PrizePicks.online. There's the power play, where if you do that, you do get a 5x multiplier, but all 3 have to hit. But with NASCAR, with a lot of things unpredictable, we always go with the flex play. It's a safer, just a safer play. You still get a good multiplier, 2.25x if all 3 hit. But if one of them misses, you still get to profit a 1.25x multiplier here. And I believe on 3s. You can do, I think 200 is the max. So yeah, if you get all 3 on the safer play, the flex play, you could still get $450 from that. So that is the PrizePicks.online play that followed the Monkey Knife Fight.online play. Now we're gonna wrap things up with
that's right.
The bets. Your favorite driver, no matter what handicap, and then also your favorite guy outside the top 5, and then your favorite guy that's the furthest down the board. Who are we betting on today?
Who are we betting on today? That is a very, very, very good question. All right, there we go. I had to fill time there.
That was the worst.
I forgot
fill
about
time.
it. Not that I forgot about it. I just forgot to pull it up. Okay, so like you said, no restrictions. Kevin Harvick 3-1. He's above the board here on anyone else. I mean, the next best favorite is Hamlin at 6-1, and I don't even think he's going to win this race. I think they just have it there because he won this race last year. So I definitely like Harvick at 3-1.
All right, outside the top 5, who's your favorite?
Ryan Blaney 9-1.
And then the person who is the least favorite to win, but if everything goes right today, has the opportunity to pull off that checkered flag.
Yeah, I'm not reaching too far today. I don't think it's one of those races. Eric Almirola 16-1.
But didn't you say you don't like him today? We were talking about the champion pick.
Yeah, but he could win. Doesn't mean he can't win.
All right. Fair enough.
I just like Blaney more than Almirola. I did pick Blaney too. Way to listen to me.
Well, no. So okay, never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate you. You are the devil. Let's go through any more questions here. When Andrew was asking his 2 to 3 dominators, he was referring to drivers starting 1 to 12. I don't know if that helps answer your question.
He sets up. I set a dominator group up a little different than him. Yeah, then probably only 2.
Vincent is Truex, Blaney, and Logano too many DOMs for a single entry GPP on DK?
Okay, say that again.
Truex, Blaney, and Logano. Is that too many dominators for a single entry GPP?
Yeah. I think you probably could do 3. I just wouldn't do those 3.
Sean wants to know how your garage cabinets are coming along.
Once I'm done here and post the cores up, I'm back outside. Although there's a storm rolling in, so I've got to that's what I'm working on here this afternoon. So it's kind of nice. I've kind of basically I'll go back and I'll rewatch the race, but I've kind of made myself busy. 1, to stay out of the tilting and Discord during the race, and 2, just kind of get things done around the house as well, which will be nice because we don't have a race next Sunday. We have a race on Thursday night, so understand that we still got a cup race this week. It's just Thursday night. So because my weekends are kind of, especially with this COVID schedule, my weekends have just been swamped with NASCAR crap. So I'm trying to figure a way to get stuff done while still being able to provide the best content I can. So.
All right, and the last and final question that's rolling in here before we wrap up this stream, OS wants to know your thoughts on Chase overall. There's not any specific contest he was referring to.
No, that's fine. Chase is a good option. I like Chase today. I think, if you look at his green flag speed at these tracks at 1.5 miles this year, he's one of the best. He just has, he hasn't closed the deal at all. Yeah, he looked great at the All-Star race, but I mean, those are cars that are built for the All-Star race, and it's a half-mile track at Bristol. But I don't mind Chase, and I think Chase will get cash ownership as well. So I think as I said, I think cash is going to be kind of split all over. So I mean, I don't mind Chase.
All right, now, as we always say, these live streams are replayable, so if you caught it in the middle or the end, you're like, crap, I wish I would have watched the beginning. First off, every time there's a Sunday Cup race, noon Eastern time is the time it kicks off. Not going to be one next week, as you just mentioned before. The Cup race this week is on Thursday, but this stream is replayable. So if you missed it, just go back to the same link. I mean, you could probably rewind it right now in the middle of it, I think, but just wait till it's over. Go back to the same link that brought you in the first place, and then move around, fast forward, rewind, everything you want to do. But make sure if you have not yet, click that subscribe button. We got MLB coming this week. We have NBA coming in a few weeks. We're going to be dropping so much content on this YouTube channel. It's going to get crazy. That being said, we hope everybody enjoyed this live stream, enjoy the content Dave provided. If it does put you in the green, take those screenshots, throw them up on Twitter, and tag at DFS_Karma, as well as David Jr. 831. But the final piece here is, if you are not in our Discord chat, you do not like money. It is free to get in. Just simply go to chatdfs.com. It'll automatically invite you to the Discord, and then just read this first channel, and then yeah, we'll go from there. It's free to get in. Just go to it, get in the chat. You can talk to Dave 24/7. You can ask him about his garage cabinets every single day.
Just don't tag me in the middle of the night.
Just don't ask him in the middle of the night.
Yeah, don't tag me. You can ask me all you want. I don't get it. Don't tag me at like 1 o'clock in the morning. You know who I'm talking about.
So in other words, tag this man at 1 o'clock in the morning. All right. Good luck, everybody, and we'll see you on the next Sunday stream.
Yeah.
Deuces.